This is Our Rough Draft, a podcast, real talk for real relationships.
Welcome to Our Rough Draft, where we share real stories from marriage, work, life, and the adventures along the way. We'll laugh, maybe get real, and hopefully help you spark some new conversations in your own life.
I'm Denise, the wild, emotional one who loves words and big ideas.
And I'm Tim. I'm the practical level one who fixes what she dreams of.
And this is Our Rough Draft, where we share the stories we're still living.
Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to the pajama and wine sessions of Our Rough Draft.
Welcome to Our Rough Draft.
It's nice to be podcasting in the afternoon from our house.
Indeed, yes.
I've napped.
It has many benefits.
It does. It's really nice. I can just know that I'm here the rest of the day, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So very cool. Okay, I gotta move my computer just a smidge. Okay, we're gonna do this one a little bit different.
Let's do it.
I would like to point out that my new art is out because Christmas is coming, and I made a bunch of Christmas trees, and they're so fun.
They are fun. I love them.
I know. This one's my favorite. Can I get to it? I don't know. Look at how fun that is. It has a little fireplace. Anyway, I love them. I make art, Tim. I'm a creative.
Yes, you are. A creative?
Yeah, that's what.
Creator?
A creative is how we refer to it in the biz.
In the biz of creatives?
Yeah.
Got it. Tracking.
So anyway, how's your week going?
It's going fine.
Good week, right? Big week. We've been talking about this since the inception of Our Rough Draft.
Yeah, big week. Last week at Starbucks.
Yeah.
So Friday marks my final day where I will sign off, close my computer, and then box it up and send it back.
How are you feeling about that?
I feel good.
Yeah.
I feel good. I mean, I feel I'm excited for what's to come. I'm excited to move on to something good.
Yeah.
I am, we were talking in the car. I'm excited to meet new people.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be excited about the work, so I think there's a lot of positives. So starting December 12th, I will be at a new job. I'll be commuting. I have to figure that out.
Hold on. December 12th?
1st.
You said 12th. I got all excited.
December 1st.
December 1st.
December 1st.
Yes. You have a brand new job. Do you want to announce it or just wait until December 1st and then we can talk about it?
Well, we can keep it a secret and keep people on the edge of their seats. I'm not
Fabulous.
sure it's that big of a secret. I'm not sure that
I know it's
people
out there.
will tune in just for that.
That's
So,
okay. It's fun to have new things.
The biggest thing I'm concerned about is the commute. And not just the time in the car.
Yeah.
I'm concerned about what to-go coffee mug do I take so I can take coffee in the morning, and can I make it from the house to the office without having to stop to go to the bathroom in the morning?
Then you're going to have to limit your coffee intake.
I know, it's a concern.
I know. It's about an hour commute.
Yeah, so I feel like there's a lot to figure out.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You've done an hour commute before, though.
I have.
And the kids are a lot littler.
Yep.
And so this will be easier in that regard.
Yeah.
We do have to get a new car, though, or figure out the car situation.
Yes, we do.
So if you would like to sponsor our podcast, not just kidding, actually.
There's a car company out there that's willing to sponsor.
We could slap Our Rough Draft on the side of it and call it a day. Okay, so today I want to play with the connection cards.
Okay.
So I've been putting those together to get a beta test out there. Decided that would be a good way to do it so people could use them, tell us some feedback, and then, like good researcher, then we can put them out into the world. So the original idea is about 110 cards, with this beta version being about 35. And tied to what we're talking about at the podcast, but they can be separate. But really about how do we help people to make connections with each other through conversation, which is really why we started doing all of this.
Yeah, for sure.
And I love it because we have a date every week where we sit and we talk for at least an hour. And I love that that's carved out. And when we've done like 2 episodes in 1 week and taken a week off, I miss it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do too.
And it leads to deeper conversations and richer conversations that we just have on our own.
Yeah.
So anyway, I want to play with the cards a little bit. So I don't have them printed out yet, but I do have some here on the computer. So we haven't pre-selected them. We're just kind of drawing some cards. So whatever comes up, we're going to answer. There are 6 different types of cards. So we'll choose one from each color category because I like my color categories. Okay, so
This feels a little bit like Uno.
no, but these do come from the Thanksgiving gratitude set. So it's not completely off the wall. It is themed to this week and
Gotcha.
Thanksgiving coming up.
It's
So,
timely.
all right, let me see if I can find it. Okay. Storyline card. Gratitude isn't just a feeling, it's a practice of noticing what's present, naming what matters, and choosing to see abundance even in ordinary moments. What's the story that's coming up for you with that? I can read it again. So the storyline cards are supposed to be kind of the theme of the podcast. So if you're having like a dinner party, it could be like where you start, and then the other cards we'll talk about as they come up, but they add on to it. But storyline is really where you would start. So this one's really about gratitude and the practice of it, knowing what's around you, what matters, and choosing to see abundance even in ordinary moments.
You know that I have a routine. This may not necessarily be a story, but it's an anecdote. I don't know. We can figure out the right word later. I have a nighttime routine where I go around and I check all the doors and make sure they're locked. I turn off the lights. Like that's my thing. And I can't feel settled going to bed if I haven't checked the doors. Even if you locked it and I know you've locked it, I don't know, call it what it is. Maybe it's an OCD type of thing, but I literally have to put my hand on it and I have to make sure it's locked. So for whatever reason, a lot of times I find myself walking toward the front door, and the front door is a little bit of a hike, not a massive hike, but it's steps.
Yeah.
And I find myself, I think, feeling grateful and expressing gratitude in that moment for the roof that we have over our heads and the fact that we've always had a roof over our heads as a family. And, knock on wood, we'll continue to have a roof over our heads. So I think in that it's such a small thing. It's such a small act of me just going to the front door and check and make sure it's locked. But for some reason, that little journey of going to the front door makes me realize how good we have it and how grateful I am for what we have, and is a good reminder to be grateful for what I have versus always wanting something more.
That's great. I love that. For me, I had a rough week. I hate my doctoral program. I hate it. I hate giving up Saturdays to go to class all day and not be with the family. And this Saturday, it fell on homecoming weekend, which just kind of broke my heart because I love homecoming weekend.
ASU homecoming weekend.
Yeah. If people don't know that, they need to watch a couple other episodes. Listen to a couple other episodes. We haven't really just talked about ASU. It's coming up. That episode is coming up. And I really don't like the program. Like, I don't like the structure of it. I don't like how it's being run, any of it. On the plus side, it's all being redone. My cohort is the last group going through it the way it is. So I know good changes are coming, but not for me.
It doesn't help you in the moment.
No. And the changes won't impact our cohort. Yeah. It's going to be painful the whole time.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do it. Hard stop, because I want it to bring me joy. I want to be grateful for the opportunity to do a doctorate and be called Dr. Waters and all of the things. I want to feel that way about it. I want to be excited when I'm talking to my students about it. I want to be excited when I'm talking to anybody about it. But what I find myself doing is complaining all the time. And that's not me. I don't like it. It doesn't feel right. And so I'm trying to find those moments within it where there is gratitude or there is goodness. And so this Saturday I went, even though I didn't want to. I pushed through, and not all of us were there. There were only 5 of the 8 of us showed up because there's big things going on for other people. And we brought a potluck and we had lunch together, and we had probably the best conversation we've had thus far in the program, talking about each other's research, talking about the work we have ahead. And it was great. And that part was great. And so just stop there. Like, that part was great. That is all it
Mhm.
needs to be. So I don't need to look beyond that. Don't need to dig deeper into it. I just need to like hard stop. That moment in time was great. And just live in that for a minute. So then when I came back, I was able to dig in and do some more work on Sunday. And I felt pretty good about what I accomplished on Sunday. And I can see how it lays out. And so I don't know what that means. I can see that it's laid out and I can see what's coming. And maybe I can find those places within the interim to be grateful in the small moments of when the team comes together, when people do the research, answer the survey or whatever, to be grateful in those moments. But it's hard and it's a practice and it's intentional and it's explicit and it's hard.
Yeah, I think gratitude is. I think gratitude itself is really difficult because it's hard to remember to be grateful for whatever the thing is. Like you're pointing out, the small moment of having a good class on Saturday or a good discussion on Saturday, maybe not even the entire class, but just this one piece of it, like being able to kind of drill it down into small moments and say, I am grateful for things. And I think it has to start there because if you go around, not you, but if one goes around constantly looking for only the big moments to be grateful for, I'm grateful that I got a promotion. I'm grateful that I bought a new car, whatever it is, like, those things come in frequently, and you can lose your sense of gratitude just for the things that you do have or the small moments. So,
yeah, I think that's a great point.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, please. That's what we're here for. That's kind of the whole point.
That's the whole point of this conversation. You made the point of like looking at something like that and looking at the small moment and being grateful for the small moment and not thinking of what does this equal in terms of a future path.
Yeah.
Is that difficult for you?
Yeah, because I play everything out.
Yeah.
Right. I love how it all fits together and the big picture of it all and how this research study informs this research study that informs my job, that informs, all of the pieces.
An observation.
Yeah.
You do have a hard time separating all of that.
So what do you mean?
You have, I think, a unique ability to run that thread through everything, whatever the thread is, right? Like your point about the research, right? So your research is about connection, teamwork. Okay, so it is about, like at basketball the other night, I want to apply this to the triathlon team. I want to apply this to our family. I want to apply this to my job. Like like that thread now becomes prevalent throughout everything, and I think that's something that you do. So I can see then. I could see, spoiler alert, my own answer to the question, but I can see that being difficult of saying this is a small moment, this thing is a standalone thing versus this is something that then means X, Y, and Z later on down the road.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I see it play out. And if it's going slow or if it's going fast or if it's off track or if it's on track, like all those things matter to me. And like, yes, that isn't normal. Like, you can.
But I'm not making a judgment.
I know. I'm just saying people can have work and people can have school and people can have home and people can have just a basketball game.
Not you.
No, I really can't because, like, damn it. When I was doing this 2-pager that I need handout on the research, like the brand colors had to match my personal brand stuff because it's an offshoot of it. It isn't. I don't show up here as somebody who doesn't know about connection. Like it's fundamental to who I am. And so my research is fundamental to who I am. I think most good social scientists have that because it matters to them. It's not like I can leave it and walk away from it. I don't know. Maybe there's people who can, but I don't think I would be doing it if it didn't tie into everything that I'm doing.
Another observation.
Yes, please.
I don't think you would be doing anything if it didn't tie into something else. Like again, that thread, that's a common theme, I think, for you. You don't do anything that isn't bigger than just the thing. I painted some Christmas trees. I know, right? Yeah. But
what?
But I think I think the thing there is I painted some Christmas trees and I'm really proud of how they turned out. But I'm also proud that I was able to do this. And I want to be recognized for the fact that I did this. Not a bad thing, but there's more there, I think. And I think sometimes, I've joked before about your reading habits, and your reading habits have been prolific for sure.
Twisted for sure.
But I think always focused on your research, or focused on broader themes, or focused on big social things. Like I gave you grief one time for not reading for pleasure.
Right.
Some people will read for pleasure, other people read for other reasons. That's just who you are. That's just how you're wired. Your mind does not do good with small things.
Right.
Your mind does good with big things.
Well, and I would love to go back to the recognition of the painting. That's an interesting piece that I'm not sure I understand, but I am proud of the fact that I could turn it off for a little bit and do something different. Like that's a big deal to me, because I don't often do that, but I do have to admit that I was thinking it'd be really cool to make a Christmas tree for everybody in my cohort.
And there it is.
Well, not everybody celebrates that season, so it's fine. I won't.
So I think going back to the recognition piece, that I think it's recognition that you can do other things. Like, I think that's what it is. It's recognizing the fact that, hey, I did take a moment and I did something like this. Just like when you read a sloppy fiction book, you always have to tell me that you read a sloppy fiction book, because it's not a typical thing for you.
That's true. I will point out,
I don't know if sloppy fiction is actually a genre or not. I just made that up.
we can ask Leland what she thinks. I think
free.
it's real. I am reading one right now, by the way. BT Tabs.
Interesting.
I was going to say something about that. I think this idea of being proud that I can step away from the work is also why a lot of people don't often understand me. Because that's one of the things in this doctoral program of other professors and mentors being like, it's too big, you're trying to take on too much, make your life a little bit easier on yourself, all of those things. That sounds like Charlie Brown's teacher to me. That's all well and good, but I can't do it like that. And I can get it done. Like, it's not a workload issue. It's I have to keep my mind busy issue. So, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So being grateful in the small moments and not trying to always focus on the next step and just staying in it.
Yeah. I think, again, going back to what I said, I think it's easy to be grateful in the big moments, but it's those small ones that I think I'm trying to pay much more attention to. And you gave me grief the other day. The other day was quite a while ago, by the way, so you probably don't remember the conversation, but I talked about the small moments that make me happy. And one of them is the way the lid on the, so I take melatonin to help me sleep, the way that the lid on the melatonin bottle fits back on and you can just spin it once and it closes. Or like driving over a patch of road that's been patched and you don't even feel it. And how, I'm grateful for people who are so skilled and so, focused on attention to detail that they get it just perfect. Like, those are things. And I actually pride myself on those things, because it's like, that helps me personally, because I can slip into a negative mindset, I think. And if I can look at something like, that lid fit on that bottle just perfectly, and that really makes me happy. It sounds stupid. Or again, I drove over that patch of road and I didn't even feel it, and somebody really has their shit nailed in this job. I think it helps me stay out of the negative, because again, you're finding those small moments everywhere. Like, I'm grateful that, like, the rain washed away the dust that was on the driveway. Like, I don't know, like, it's just those types of things.
I was pretty grateful it rained today. I love the rain a little bit. Okay. Next card that I have here is just a general question card. What tradition helps you pause and notice what you have? Oh, I know. I have an answer.
Girl in the front with her hand up.
We have a tradition at New Year's of kind of reflecting on the year behind us and kind of setting some goals for the year ahead. When the kids were little, they were like little cut-up strips that they had to respond to. And now it's like a one-page printout and you respond to it. But that tradition of kind of celebrating every hour up until midnight, of like reflecting back, looking ahead, maybe having a little game or gift, I love that because it really just slows down the day, and then it like gives us a built-in time to look at the past year. I love that tradition.
I think for me, one that we no longer celebrate because of proximity was Sun Mountain.
Yeah.
And it seems weird. I mean, so let me try and connect the dots on that. But I think that I was incredibly grateful every time we showed up to that place because of just the beauty, the majesty of the surroundings. And I think that I've said it before, like for me, I find God in the outdoors. I
Mhm.
find God in sunsets or mountains or a cool tree or just that's my thing. That's how I find it. So I think every time we went to Sun Mountain, I was just reminded of how amazing our setting was. And I was grateful for the ability to be there, for the things that we had done that created that tradition, that got us there, and that allowed us to go and see those things. So as far as traditions, and we've talked on previous episodes, we don't have a lot of traditions in the kind of
Traditional
true,
sense.
in the true sense of the word. But I think we have these really kind of somewhat offbeat traditions or different traditions that I think do remind me of being grateful for what we have. So
Yeah. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about Thanksgiving. So not my favorite.
by a long shot.
I know. There's a lot of reasons it's not my favorite. Dating back years, I went to ASU as an undergrad, and I had to stay and work over Thanksgiving weekend. And I didn't get to go be with the whole family, and they were at the cabin. And I remember calling, and it was just heartbreaking. Thanksgivings before that, I would get strep every year. And so I'd like crawl into Noni and Bill's bed and go to sleep. And I would miss it. Went to the Maui Invitational one year, thought that maybe the guy I was dating might propose. He did not. So
Lucky for me.
we broke up. Yes. Lucky for all of us. Like, I think he's had a perfectly lovely life with a wife and kids and all of that. And his story is great too. You were at boot camp for Thanksgiving and I missed your call. And the piece de resistance is you left on Thanksgiving to go to Iraq. So Thanksgiving is not my favorite.
Yeah. For those that don't know, I think Thanksgiving is our most contentious holiday in terms of lessons that we had to learn about each other and I think agreements that we had to come to. And
Gosh, there are other ones. Yeah, say more. I'm just remembering some other Thanksgivings.
Can of worms. I grew up for a while having very traditional Thanksgivings. We always went to my grandmother's house. We always had turkey. We always had stuffing. We always had potatoes. Like it was always the very traditional thing. And those were some of the happiest memories that I have. And I think you know that, but I think you misunderstood those very early on in my life where you thought it was, I had to have the turkey. I had to have the stuffing. I had to have the potatoes. And honestly, I do love those things. I really like the taste and I like eating them. I'm one of the odd people out that really likes Thanksgiving food, but only on Thanksgiving. But it wasn't about the food. It was about, honestly, my grandma and grandpa.
Yeah.
And it was about gathering around the table and it was about just being present in their house. And it was such a warm and comforting place. But again, I think the impression that you had about my Thanksgiving was trying to recreate that or that Thanksgiving was so important to me that we had to have our own Thanksgiving traditions. And I think that led to a lot of conflict because you don't like any of the Thanksgiving. So
I really don't.
Spending hours or days working on Thanksgiving food is ridiculous if you don't like it.
Right.
And we used to get in some pretty heated fights about Thanksgiving or around Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I met your parents at Thanksgiving.
Did you really?
Yeah. Remember you took me to Kristen's for Thanksgiving as your friend?
Yeah. That's my friend?
Yeah.
That's stupid.
It's a little stupid.
That's dumb.
I think they were onto you.
They probably, yeah.
I mean,
They've
they're
always-
not.
they've
They're
always
not.
been onto me.
They're not.
Yeah.
They're not stupid at all. They notice these things.
Right, yeah. But anyway, that being said, I think Thanksgiving is definitely not our favorite holiday. Although when we were up in Washington, it quickly became my favorite holiday when we would go to the Copper Creek Inn
At Mount Rainier.
at Mount Rainier.
Yeah, because we had a lot of bad Thanksgivings.
Yeah.
I think we did finally find a rhythm, but we would get in arguments about the pace, who was helping, who wasn't helping, who was taking care of the kids, what the kids needed, all of it, where we were going to be, whose house we were going to be at, all of the things. And because I have so much baggage always, and then honoring how I was feeling about things and having to put on a different feeling to be around family. And I mean, they've been my family for 25 years, but still not my people. One of the things I am most grateful for in my life is having this giant, complicated family, because it's just a riot all the time. But yours isn't that way. It's small and intimate and different. And so that was a big piece of it as well. And we went through a lot of iterations of what Thanksgiving could look like, what it needed to look like, what it didn't need to include. I could never thaw a turkey. That was never in my wheelhouse. So we started, I think it was I'm not sure what year that all started, but the opt outside kind of movement for instead of Black Friday where you go outside and enjoy the world, that spoke to us. And so we started going down to Mount Rainier and staying there, at the Whitaker cabin, and then
so awesome.
Right. And then finding Copper Creek and going there for a great homey pie-filled dinner.
Thanksgiving buffet.
Yeah.
You roll in. For those that don't know, Copper Creek Inn is in Ashford, I believe. And just a small, literally on the side of the road, there's a small little restaurant.
Yeah, 25 people would fit inside.
And I think cabins behind it. We've never stayed there, but one year we found out they had a Thanksgiving dinner. And so to your point, stayed at the Whitaker bunkhouse, also in Ashford.
Also one of the very best places in the world.
Yeah, and then went and had dinner there. And then the next day went to Rainier. And I remember the first time we did that, Black Friday on Rainier was clear blue skies, sunny, just an incredible time. So
which is Rainier's always a great adventure, but when the skies are out, it's even better.
Yeah.
So we've done all of that. So then in the last couple of years, 3, I don't know the number of years, and it doesn't matter. When Thatcher went to college for the first time, he went to San Diego for Thanksgiving because coming home was too far to go. And so he spent Thanksgiving with my mom and dad. Mm-hmm. And he has been there every year since until this year. And he and my mom and dad would decorate when he was there. And then when we lost my dad, just my mom and Thatch would decorate. And then Cooper went to college and we moved down here and we started going. And then we had to start help decorating. So again, I have another gratitude.
I never signed up for that, by the way.
I know. Well, here's the gratitude. Aunt Leanne is at my mom's as we speak, decorating for Christmas. So when we get there on Thanksgiving, it's done.
Nice.
I know.
Thank you, Leanne.
Yeah, so great. And we go out to dinner.
Yeah.
And so we keep trying places on to find our fit because we haven't found the Copper Creek yet in San Diego. And this will be the 4th year trying to find a new restaurant. We just made a reservation, so we'll report back.
Yeah. Well, and the dinner thing, I think, is even older than just San Diego because we did that up in Washington a couple of times, too.
Oh, that's true. Oh, my God, the worst one.
Jeez, that was horrible.
Do you remember which one?
Beppo's.
Yeah.
Buca de Beppo.
It was horrible.
That was so bad.
But
that was by far the worst Thanksgiving food I've ever had. I mean, it shouldn't come as a surprise. It's but yeah, that was, and I think the beauty of that night though was I think we all laughed about it. We were all able to laugh about it and say, this was not good.
Yeah. Okay, I got another question card. This is a deep dive.
Uh-oh.
You can pick. There's 2. What are you taking for granted right now that you'd miss immediately if it were gone? Or when has someone's gratitude toward you changed how you saw yourself? I know they're good. I know. I write things down. I'm good at it.
for our listeners, you'd think that because I live with this woman, she'd give me advance notice and I'd be able to think about the answers to these questions. But this is all off the cuff.
Real
This is
talk
me
for
just
real relationships.
pulling stuff out. Am I grateful for that I would miss if it was gone? Or when is somebody's gratitude?
What is something you're taking for granted right now that you'd miss immediately if it were gone?
I think I'll go with the second one. And I can't necessarily remember when it happened in my life. I think that it was actually, if you go back and listen to the Eddie Bauer episode or the Best Job episode, I think it was when I was working there and I was helping to develop people. And the feedback and gratitude that I received from the people that did that or that went through that program, I think fundamentally changed my way of looking at myself. Because I think up until that point, if you had asked me if I was good at developing people, I was young. I mean, what were we, 20 something?
Yeah, not yet 30.
Yeah, 25, 26 maybe when I started doing that work. So
Yeah.
young in my career, I think I would have said, no, I'm not good at developing people. I have no idea how to develop people.
Yeah.
But then going through those experiences and having people express that gratitude changed my opinion. And I think it didn't make me feel like I was an expert at it, but made me feel like I have something that I can tap into.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to, so we talk about threads, like I want to find that thread and start pulling on that thread.
Yeah.
And I want to be good at developing people and I want to be good at making people feel good about themselves. So that changed my impression and made me feel like I could actually do that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. What about you?
It's always kids. So, right, that whole idea of what are you taking for granted? Like, what's that song, right? Like, you're going to miss it when it's gone.
Yeah.
Like 100%. Oh, I'll probably cry. I just miss them. Like, I miss them physically being here, but I miss them like from when they were little.
Do you ever want to go back and do it again? And not meaning get pregnant again. So don't look at me that way.
Yeah.
But to your point, like, I wish I could go back to some stages. I wish I could go back to when they were 3, when they were 5, when they were like some of those moments that we've captured that we always look back on. It'd be fun to be able to go back to those.
Yeah, I don't know. I miss it. But I also love where we are now.
For sure.
And raising kids is hard. Like, we were always tired. We were always like, it was hard. But no, I don't think so. Like, I think always forward. But even in the like small moment where Mason wasn't driving to when he was driving this summer, like some of that time together, like it goes so fast.
Yeah.
But then like we'll go together to a volleyball tournament and it's back for a second. And like my mom and Cooper are going to drive from San Diego back up to Monterey together. And like, there it is, right? Like the road trip still matters. But I don't think you can solve for that. Like, life is tricky and hard and busy and all of the things. And then all of a sudden you wake up and some of that stuff's gone. And you just, that's how it's supposed to be, but it doesn't make it easy.
I have a lot of thoughts around that. I think, not that you've ever done raising kids, but when we were raising them younger.
Daily,
yeah. I think one of the things that I always thought about was, and one of the things I always prayed about was, just help me get to the point where I can see my kids as adults, because I want to know
that they're okay.
I want to know they're okay. I want to see how their story plays out. Like, I want to know who they are in an environment that doesn't include me on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think we're getting to see that now. And I wouldn't trade that for the world, because to me, that's kind of that's the next step in the story. So when I say I'd like to go back to some of those times, I'd like to go back to those times just to remember them, but not to live in them. Like, I'm perfectly happy being where we are right now. And I think I don't know. I think that that's important. And I think that the other point you brought up that I was going to say something about was I've learned and realized that trying to make a moment last, trying to recreate a moment, trying to live in a moment is, for me, 99.9% of the time going to be a failure, because you just can't. You can't, and it's not fair. it's not fair for the current state to be always wondering about how could I get back to a moment, or how could I keep that moment to be the moment. I think that goes back to gratitude. Like, you have to be grateful that that moment existed. You have to be grateful that Cooper sang that song or did that that tour of his
The
bedroom.
Woosta Chusta?
And his instrument, and it's from China. Like,
no, it's Chinese.
Like, that video is a moment that is just perfectly captured and captured who Cooper was at that time. And I will be forever grateful that we have that video and we watch it all the time. But also, current Cooper is fantastic. And it's great to see how his story is continuing. And same with Mason, same with Thatcher. So, like, all those things being said, I wouldn't trade any of what we have now for any of what we used to have.
Right.
But those memories are really cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm grateful for those.
Yeah. And the I'm Sexy and I Know It video. There's got to be a Thatcher video that's similar.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't think of it right now.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I have another type of card, and this is the last one we'll do of the cards for right now, but it's the share your story card. So this one comes from this idea that at the end of every episode, we're really trying to encourage people to share more of themselves, because that is how you get to know people. Relationship comes from connection and comes from story. And so who wrote these? Tell us about a time when loss taught you gratitude.
I need to think on that one for a minute.
I can go if you would like.
I have something.
Okay.
I think that for me, so my grandmother on my mom's side, Grandma Poseridge, I'll never forget. I think it was, well, I shouldn't say I think, because then
you'll never forget.
Right, yeah.
They don't go together.
No, I'll never forget when I got the phone call from Mom and Dad saying that she'd had a stroke. And I was living in Kirkland at the time. So she was in Yakima, I was in Kirkland. So immediately got in my car, drove to, just sped to Yakima to be there with her. She lived through the experience of having the major stroke, but lost her ability to talk. And lost a lot of other abilities. I mean, a fairly typical, I think, major stroke scenario where she lost her ability to be self-sufficient. She lost her ability to take care of herself. And she was older and Grandpa was older. So they sold the house, moved out of the house. Like that whole period for me was just one big loss piled on top of another. And it was overwhelming to me to think about the number of things that I lost, selfishly, that I lost. I lost her saying she loved me. I lost her just talking about things. I lost her voice, and that killed me. And I also lost her, I felt like I lost her love because she couldn't express it. And I know it was there, and I know that she loved me, and I know that she just was devastated that she couldn't say it, but I felt like I lost that too. And then again, she couldn't move back into the house. She had to move into assisted care, sold the house, got rid of all this stuff. I mean, so the place that I had grown up, I mean, it's like for you, right? The places that you've grown up, you place such a weight on, and that was the weight that I placed on them. And so I lost all of it in the matter of, months. It all happened, or a year. And I think for the longest time, I looked back on that. I reflected on that time as a time of loss. But when I think about it, when I step away from it a little bit with maybe time and distance, I think the thing that I'm grateful for is that those people existed. I am grateful that I had those people in my life. I'm grateful that I had a safe space that I could walk to every day after school, and I could watch Gilligan's Island and the Flintstones, and I could have a snack, and we'd have dinner, and then I'd get picked up, and I was grateful that's, I was able to mow the lawn there, and just everything associated with it, I was super grateful for. So I think that maybe that's my thing. Maybe I grieve in the moment, grieve the loss, and the moment can be years long. I think it's taken me a long time to get to the point, but then the gratitude of that, of what I had, I think then slowly starts to replace the grief. And that's, I think, when I know I've kind of come out the other side of it.
Yeah, I think that's a universal. Like, I think a lot of people feel that way. And I think we could talk about a couple different stories that are like that with
Right.
like Noan and Bill and
Yeah.
my dad. And I think maybe it's our age, but loss always means people to me. Like, there's other losses, right? Like, we could talk about houses and stuff and all of those types of things, jobs. But the one that's coming up for me right now is when we lost Jake. And just, I think that there's an opportunity when people have a loss in their life to show up for them in ways that matter. And I wish that we were a people that could do that more often. But I just think about like the chain of events, getting the call when I'm in Vancouver and all of the things that had to happen to get me from Vancouver back to Seattle in the car, down to San Jose, to their house. Like, how did that all happen? And it was all of those pieces along the way I was grateful for, right? Like, I didn't realize that I was grateful for the snowplows on the side of the road when I was driving the Passat. And I was like, oh shit, like it could snow. It's December. I didn't even think of that. The flight attendants and the pilots who like held the plane so I could get there and put me in the front row and got me a shot of tequila. I was also grateful in the moment when we were all together. You and Coop were in Green Bay and the rest of us were in San Jose with everybody else. And Mark Bruner reached out and figured out how to get you and Coop on the field in Green Bay. At the same time, figured out how to get Thatcher Mason and I into the athletic club at Stanford. Like, we're in two different parts of the world. But he's like, these are the things I can do right now, right? Like, you need me. These are the things I can do. Yeah. And so that was great. But there's this little tiny moment where we were sitting around on the couches and in the front room, and the house was already decorated for Christmas, and we were eating smoked salmon from Costco and drinking. There was a lot of drinking.
That was a theme.
I remember little Jake was using the cocktail strainer on his beer just to see what it would do. There was a lot of drinking. But at one point, my dad stood up and he's like, oh, I've got to go get something. And we're like, okay. And I looked at Thatcher. I'm like, you got to go with him. And so, like, they were the only dudes there, right? The rest of us were all the women were there. And so Thatch went with my dad and they went to the store. And I think they actually went to a movie. But Roseanne had an Alexa and none of the rest of us did. And maybe she had it. Maybe it was a ad. Like, I don't even know. But in that moment, my dad was like, Denise needs one of these. And so he went to the store and he found one and bought it and brought it back because I mean, really, he probably didn't want to be in the house anymore. Needed a break. But like, just those moments of like seeing the other person and being like, I gotcha. But Jake would have loved that too, that we were all just together.
Yeah.
And doing what we do together.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting situation because in light of what I said earlier, like, I don't know that I'm over that one yet. I don't know that I'm selfishly over, because I think it was, a year before he passed? Not even a year?
Yeah. No, it was.
That we had connected.
It was
in Vegas.
October before the December.
Yeah. So it was only a couple of months when we actually had an opportunity to sit down. And we'd obviously met and interacted a bunch of other times. I mean, so I knew him. But that was, I think, probably the first time I'd ever opened up to anybody about my military experience, because he had, obviously military experience as well.
Yeah, and he was just figuring his out.
Yeah. So I think we were both maybe on a little bit of a similar journey there. And I think that when he died, I felt like something had been taken from me.
Yeah.
And I felt like, well, gosh, I haven't known this guy as long as everybody else in the room. And, I don't have the right to grieve him this way. But then I kind of quickly realized, like, I think we can all grieve our own parts of people, and some are different than others.
Well, and I would say that he also gave us a tradition that we all live by as much as we often as we can. And the story goes that he had an opportunity to see the Beatles at their last show, not knowing it was their last show, and he didn't go. And so there was always this idea that you go to the show, you do the thing, you experience the experiences, because you never know. We've all kind of lived that. I mean, my dad came over when I was a freshman in ASU, and we went and saw Paul McCartney, and we've gone to a million concerts and met them in Vegas and went to different shows, and you just do that. And speaking of that, that was really funny that Train and Bare Naked Ladies are traveling together this summer, and that whole crew and us saw them on Alcatraz. That was when Sita met the family, was at that concert, Jake's wife. So
That was forever.
I know. So that's pretty cool too. So yeah, I think that there's a lot of good that can come from people and paying attention, and like we were saying at the beginning, like those small moments of gratitude.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's obvious this time of year, just to wrap it back to, what's happening next week with Thanksgiving and all. I think it's it becomes obvious because you think about it a little bit more, but I think the important part is not losing sight of those moments of gratitude and being grateful for the things around you throughout the course of the year.
Yeah,
Like trying to make sure you're not just keeping it one time a year.
for sure. Yeah. So thanks for playing along with the cards today.
Loved them.
Right? It's kind of just gives a little bit of a different spin on it. It makes you think in a different way.
Definitely makes you think. Those are deep questions.
Yeah.
So
Thanks.
maybe next time a couple of softballs.
All right. There's a couple others. There's the plot twist cards, which are just fun. And then there's the just wondering cards, which are made in your honor.
Thank you.
Because Tim just wonders about stuff. I should probably have you write those though, because I feel like the just wondering cards are a little deeper than
just wondering.
Yeah. So maybe I'll have you author some cards. But if you're interested in getting the cards and trying them out and giving us your feedback, we would love it.
Yeah.
So that we can put those into the world, because conversation is important.
Indeed.
All right. What should we end with today? What do we want people to do? What's their connection challenge, Tim?
Well, I think their connection challenge should be related to gratitude, since that's been the theme of the conversation.
So asking about a gratitude, what's somebody grateful for, like that. I feel like people do that, and it's just go around the table and you say what you're grateful for, but let's dig a little deeper.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think just grateful for, but I think going back to one of the questions, like, what are you grateful for? Or what do you, what would you miss if it was gone?
I like that.
Because I think that takes reflection. I think you have to reflect on it, because it's easy to say, oh, I'm grateful for my family, and not the family's not important, but like, why? Why are you grateful for your family? So not just asking the question of what you're grateful for, but why, and reminding yourself of what that brings to you and what that gives to your life. Yeah.
And I think too, like trying to find those moments where it is hard when you're missing people. Holiday, for fuck's sake, to find the joy within it.
Yeah.
Is important.
Yeah.
Because we get to see Cooper for Thanksgiving, which is so cool. And then in
December
15 sleeps after that, we get to see Thatchy and Kyla. Right. So that'll be great.
It'll be exciting.
Yeah. So thank you for being here.
Thanks for listening to our rough draft.
Have a great Thanksgiving.